Hey guys, I'm going to share something that God opened my eyes to, and you're gonna have to track a little bit to understand the title of this video, but it's really good, I promise. So about Saturday, I was feeling sort of weird. I felt off, I felt like I needed to cry, but I didn't know why. And so I was sort of praying and asking God, what's happening? Could you please reveal it to me and open my eyes to it? And then sure enough, later, a couple days later, I'm going through this book, Write the Vision, by Nathan Cherney. And I'm in this chapter called My Love. And it's from God's perspective, talking about how much he loves us and cares for us and how much value we are, that he gives to us. And this last portion I'll read, it says, I will tell you a truth about this. The value of all these precious metals and stones does not even come close to the value that I place on you. You are worth more than rubies, more precious than gold. Nothing can compare to how I see you. And I was really just God, when I read that, I was tearing up and I was like, oh no, what's happening? And then I was like, God, can you please help me to see myself the way you see me? Because this has been a struggle that God has been revealing to me in 2020, is that I don't really see any value in myself. And I know that's a lie from the enemy, and I'm just like, God, can you help me with this? And again, it's affecting me still. And so I was praying about it. And then this phrase came to mind that was brought up on Saturday, but I had sort of pushed it out. But I'm not going to say the phrase, but it was something very hurtful that a loved one had said to me when I was younger. And it actually really affected me. I didn't even realize it, but God was showing me in this moment that it had much too much power than I had realized, and it was affecting me far more than I had realized. And so the first time it came up was during a Bible study that I went to on Saturday. And this is not a Bible study that I usually go to, but my friend invited me. The circumstances worked out that I could go. And in that, it was so good because they were sharing how God sees us as enough, strong, treasured, a masterpiece, bold, chosen, protected, a fearless powerhouse, loved. And I can post up what they shared, and this was by Tracy Loa, that's all her. And it was so good, but it didn't even really sink in that much until now I'm seeing how relevant it is. And so this came up when someone had, at the end of the Bible study, someone was like, I'm getting a word for someone. I don't know who it's for, but I'm just gonna say it, and and hopefully, you hear it. And so it said, I'm gonna edit it a little bit so you don't know who it's talking about, but it says, Daughter of the Most High God, this person, what they do, does not define you. What they have done does not affect your future and who you are now. Let it go and accept more of God's love. And when I heard that, I was like, I don't think that's for me, because me and this person, we tight, we good. But I was like, well, let me pray about it. I don't know if I'm missing something. And then that phrase came up, and I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, well, I don't know. And I got distracted or busy and I let it go. But then it came back a couple days later as I was going through this. And then, God showed that it was something. And essentially this phrase, it gave the connotation that I had no value and that I was undesired and to me, honestly, maybe even feeling like a negative value. And so God was showing me that this was really affecting me. So I was praying and asking God to like take out this lie from me, to heal me of this wound. And as I was praying about it, I got this visual of like my lower back and this glass that was being pulled from it. And at first I thought it was like a glass shard, but as I looked at it, it was like a bulb. And I was like, oh, it's one of those like aqua globes. I don't know if you've seen them, but you fill them up with water and then you stick it in the soil next to a plant, and the water slowly seeps out as the plant soaks it up. And so in it, like, is being pulled out, and this blue liquid was pouring out from my back. And I was like, okay, what am I seeing? And I was like, God, what does this mean? And the idea came to me that it was poison. And I was like, oh. And so it was like, not only did this phrase wound me, but it had been seeping out poison slowly and affecting so much of my life. And I can see that now because, like, so often, like, the things that God has been revealing to me in 2020 is so many things that I had idolized because I wanted to get value from them, because I had believed this lie that I don't have value. And so that's why I idolized friendships, and that's why I idolized my body image and trying to get to a specific body image. And that's why I've idolized like what guys think of me. Like, so there's so much more even, but it all stems from this lie that I don't have value. And this phrase was a big part of that. And so it's just like this big revelation, like oh my gosh, like it opened my eyes to so much. And to just pray over that God would like take out that poison, that he would neutralize the poison, that he would heal that wound. And and it's just crazy because that phrase makes so much sense to like that whatever they did, does not affect me, my future, and me now, and to like let it go and accept more of God's love. And like that love was supplied in the notes they were giving of like who God says I am. And so I really need to go over that again, like, and really take it for how it was. Maybe there was no room because there was just too much poison, but that God would take out that poison, and so I could fill it in with truth that God is trying to feed me through that Bible study and through this book. And so, yeah, that was the big revelation that I wanted to share with you guys. And honestly, I do not hold anything against that person who said what they said, because honestly, I have said very horrible things when I am in like the heat of the moment, in this rage like argument. Like, I've said things that I wanted it to like hurt them, and so now I'm like worried, like, oh my gosh, like what if that has been like a poisonous bulb to someone else, like what I've said in my anger. And so now I'm praying against the enemy using that stuff against people, that if it has happened, that God would take it out and heal them as well, and take out that poison. And yeah, it just gives a lot more insight on everything and how important the words are that come out of our mouths. But yeah, I don't know if that has helped you to see past situations for you, if maybe there's a wound in you that's poisonous, that I pray, for healing, that God can like take it out and like take out that poison and heal you, because he wants to. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.